Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
Sorry,
Hey.
I be lighting. Oh, that candle's bright on there,
It
isn't it?
is. It gives you a very, like, spooky.
It smells good. I just wanted to have a smelly good candle.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Happy Friday, guys. So we've got a couple quick announcements before we dive in. First of all, in case you're new here, hi, how are you? We had like thousands of people subscribe over the last few weeks. Totally not our intention with the Keep Etsy Human movement, but if you're new here, we do appreciate you and we're really happy that you're hanging out.
Yeah, not gonna complain.
Yeah, definitely not.
More
So,
subscribers doesn't hurt.
yeah, absolutely. So, we have not done an open Q&A in 9 weeks. I tried to do one like every month, and then somehow I looked back at my calendar and realized, wow, we have not given them just an open opportunity to ask questions. And we're like in holiday prep time. So we figured that this would be a great week to do that. So that's what this Q&A is going to be. We're handing the torch over to you. You guys are going to be able to put in your questions here in just a minute. We're going to try to keep them kind of holiday related, but you know, if the topics drift from holiday every once in a while, that's okay. We'll try to keep them focused around holiday stuff. But I do have a couple quick announcements before we get started. The first announcement is that there is a link down below to get yourself on the priority pricing list for this year's Alpha Holiday Bootcamp. Now, if you're a Handmade Alpha Academy student, don't sign up for that. You don't need a priority pricing list. You already get it for free. You get it for free. The mic is like up over.
It's up here.
It's up
here. Here, you can see it. It's right there.
So HAA students, you guys get it for free. Don't sign up to that or else you're going to get all the marketing about it and you don't need the marketing because you're not buying it. But for everybody else, the Alpha Holiday Bootcamp is going to be taking place on October 2nd through the 8th. Now, this bootcamp is a daily boot camp, so 7 days worth of content. The very last day is a group coaching call. And that boot camp is going to game you up for your holiday marketing. It is a paid boot camp, but we have made it so stinking affordable. Last year, everybody said that they felt criminal because of the price we charged for the amount of content that we gave. This year, I dare say that the content has doubled. So, and the price has stayed the same. And we have 3 additional coaches that are also going to be contributing their expertise. So if you're interested in checking that out, the link is down below. We will be opening registration for the bootcamp on September 26th. Pull it up for me because Okay, so September 27th. If you enroll on September 27th on our priority pricing, that very first day, you can get that program for $60. That is like seriously that doesn't even cover the hours that are being invested into it. But we love you guys. We want to do what we did last year and make it super duper affordable for those who get in early. The normal price of the program is $100. It will be at the $100 price on the 28th and the 29th. Thank you for pulling up that calendar. I never would have remembered this. The 28th and the 29th. So that is like standard enrollment period. That's when I'll start pushing my marketing super duper hard and probably, pay for like some ads and things. That way, people who are outside of our community, they'll see it. And then on the 30th, that price goes up to $120 because that extra $20, it's like a penalty for you for getting in late, but we take that $20 and it goes to St. Jude's. Last year, I believe $660 is standing out in my mind. I think it was like $660 that we ended up getting. And a lot of people,
I have no idea.
A lot of people actually enrolled on the final day just so that their $20 could go to St. Jude. So it was kind of fun. But that's how that goes. Make sure that if you want that $60 price, though, you get on the priority pricing list because it's just like how I do with HAA enrollment. I send you an email the morning of with the link to enroll for that 24-hour window. You'll only have that tiny time period to actually get in. At that price, and then the price goes up at midnight. So that's that. If you're interested in learning more about it and what we're offering this year, we're still very much in the development stages because I've never collaborated Like, I've been invited to speak at events that other coaches hosted.
Never been in the lead though.
Yeah, I've never actually created an event with other coaches. We're going to have Jacqueline from the Wicked Griffin is going to be presenting. She's going to be talking about email marketing basics. And that's going to be a lot of fun. That's one of our more advanced days. Christina Nicole, she's going to be teaching holiday marketing photography. But even if you aren't, maybe you do like print on demand and you rely on mock-ups, I'm going to be providing you with tons of Canva templates where you can put your mock-ups right in those. Or if you have a physical product that you personally sell, you can erase the background from it and stick those into those templates.
And where can they find this waiting list?
It is down below.
It is linked down below the video in the video description.
Yeah, there's a little snowflake beside it. It should be like, it'll say like open for Etsy resources, and then you click see more and it'll pop up. And then we also have Carrie Bunker. You guys probably remember Carrie. She's absolutely awesome. Carrie is going to be talking about some social media marketing basics and some cool like ways to really optimize things like your Instagram stories, for example, and how to like really make the most out of all of the things that these social media platforms really offer to us so that you can make sure that you're actually driving that traffic to your Etsy shop or a website. The Alpha Holiday Bootcamp is not just for Etsy. It is no matter where you sell. However, I do recommend that you only buy if you're a product-based business. Though you'll learn some strategies if you're a digital seller, for example, and for those of you who are in Handmade Alpha Academy, like you guys get it for free. If you're digital, you might as well watch it because it's free. But I really hate the idea of you guys spending money on something that you're not going to get 100% like benefits from. HAA students, obviously, you guys just get it included. But for those of you who have digital businesses, it might not be 100% perfect for you just because it's a lot harder to market a digital product. And there's no way that I can create like fun templates and things that are going to accommodate you guys in particular. I wish that I had the ability to make like 2 separate boot camps, but with time constraints and stuff, there's just no way, not this year at least. But you guys can click the link down below if you want to read more about it and get on that list. So that
you guys are good to get your questions in. If you have holiday related ones, that's usually better. But if not, whatever's fine.
Yeah. And let's see. And Tammy, is that something that would be good for someone just starting out? Yes. The only things that I do recommend is that you have some social media accounts set up. We will have a heavy emphasis on Instagram in particular, just because Instagram gives us so many great resources already. It's like
it's one of the best platforms to use as an Etsy seller.
Right. You can really, really reach like a broad audience there without investing a bunch of money, which is what we want. We don't want to spend a bunch of money, right? So I recommend having that. I recommend having, if you don't have a Canva Pro subscription, they offer a 30-day free trial. You can usually find it just by Googling it. I recommend getting like the 30-day free trial for the bootcamp and then canceling because the bootcamp's only a week long. So if you don't want to pay for the pro, like get your free trial during the bootcamp duration just so you have it and then you can plan out all of your marketing. But that bootcamp is going to help you plan your social media marketing for October, November, and the start of December. So that's going to be like 2.5 months worth of marketing, really trying to focus on Cyber Week in particular, because that's when everybody's shopping. So, and the last thing that I wanted to say before we get into questions is there's also a link to Printify's free summit is coming up. That's linked down below. It's called Amplified. I'm one of the guest speakers. I don't know what all is going to be talked about, but I know a lot of the speakers there are super duper awesome. I've watched a lot of them for years. So even if you don't sell print on demand, it's very likely that you might learn something interesting by attending that. I mean, it's free. Why not sign up for something free, right? So the link to that is down below. I'm personally going to be talking about niching and the importance of, having a developed niche. So if you're interested in checking that out, that will be on the 14th of this month and it's free and it should be a lot of fun. But the registration link for that is also down in the description. All right, we're good. You guys can ask us whatever you want to ask us.
Literally anything. What do you think about digital products? I like them. Depends on the maker.
Yeah.
What specifically do you want to know?
Yeah.
Try to be specific with your questions.
Yeah. Be specific. St. Jude's is near and dear to my heart. Yeah, that's what we did for our charity last year. We thought that it was fun for Christmas. However, guys, today's charity for Meals on Wheels, you'll see it at the top of the chat. We've got $625 that you guys have raised so far. And on the 8th of September, Mark and I are going to take all of the money and monetization that we've made on the Keep Etsy Human movement, just, the ad revenue that we get for our videos.
And we're donating that on the 8th.
Yeah, we'll be donating it live during our Friday Bean.
Assuming we can get that going without showing payment information. I need to look into that first.
Yeah.
But we'll still do it while we're on the live stream so you can see it.
You could even do it from your phone.
Yeah. I'm an alpha, but I still want to give $20. How do I do that?
For the
for the St. Jude's donation?
Oh.
I'm assuming.
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, your best bet we are going to have, when we actually do our Friday Bean episodes for the holidays, those will all be St. Jude sponsored, or we will be sponsoring. We're sponsoring St. Jude? Yeah, we're sponsoring. They're going to be our charities for the holidays. So, like right now, we're Meals on Wheels. So I would just hold on to that $20 and wait until we start doing our St. Jude's holiday sponsorships. And then you can donate right in the chat. And that money doesn't go to us. And we don't have to worry about like PayPal taking transaction fees or anything. That will go directly to St. Jude. So we are not intercepting it in the middle. It'll just go straight to their account. So.
And Luciana, you reposted the exact same question. I need you to elaborate. Oh, okay.
Got it.
Are they easier to handle post and sell?
Digital products? Are they easier? I mean, they're not easier to post. I mean, posting a listing is
posting a listing.
Yeah, you've got to have good photos. You have to, optimize your listing. Even digital products have to have good photos. You have to have good SEO. Down below, I've got a free Etsy SEO toolbox down there. That's really great for beginners, especially if you have no idea how to do SEO or even know what SEO is or how Etsy's algorithm works. I would start there. Are they easier to list and sell? I mean, are you asking if people are more interested in them? Because that completely depends on what type of digital product. If you're looking for easy money, obviously the thing where you don't have to put something in an envelope and take it to the post office and deliver it and deal with shipping times, you're taking a big chunk of the stress that you would normally deal with as a business owner out of the process. And even print on demand, that takes a big chunk of stress because you're not printing, but you're still responsible for taking care of that customer in the event that like the product arrives and the print's wrong or the print's messed up, right? There is still a level of stress there.
Yeah.
Digital products, I dare say, are the least stressful of all of the types of products you could sell on Etsy. But every type of product is going to have its challenges. If you're just trying to get into it and you're trying to find something to sell, initially, and you want to experiment with digital just to see if selling on Etsy is right for you, sure, no harm in trying.
Digital products for tags, for example. It's as far as like building a listing goes, there really isn't a whole lot of a difference between a physical product and a digital product. It's pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, the process of doing your SEO, it doesn't matter what you sell because that algorithm works the same way for everybody. It doesn't care if you sell vintage. It doesn't care if you sell digital. It doesn't care if you sell physical products. The algorithm itself is looking for keyword consistency. It's looking for accurate keywords that help it to categorize what you're selling. And it's looking for context and clues within your descriptions to give a better idea of who it should be showing these listings to. So this upcoming Tuesday, I've got a great short video coming out where I'm going to be actually diving in to how to properly do your Etsy descriptions, or not so much how to write them, but more along the lines of what does SEO mean in our descriptions? Etsy last year told us that they were going to start looking at our descriptions and that their ranking algorithm was going to start factoring in keywords from our descriptions. Well, we later found out in their recent Etsy Up event that this doesn't work the way that we originally thought. So again, that's another great video. It'll be coming out on Tuesday. But in terms of how the search algorithm works, it's going to be the same no matter what type of product you sell.
Can we talk about the Etsy change in listing pictures?
Sure. I recommend going to Christina Nicole's channel because she is, the photography queen. Her channel is by Christina Nicole. But in short, yes, Etsy ran a test to see how square photos do in the marketplace. And through their testing, they have decided that square photos are here to stay. Our rectangular photos are now all squares until you click on them. And then once you click on the listing, I believe that they still, they show in our original aspect ratio of whatever you're uploading. My opinions are that if Etsy tested it and they found that more shoppers clicked on square ones, they usually will roll it out to a small percentage of users and then study how customers engage with those listings. If they found that customers are more likely to click and purchase an item because the image is square, which logically we think, oh, I don't care if listings are square, but it's not about what we are observing about ourselves on a conscious level. These are these unconscious things that we do that we don't even realize that we're doing. And maybe while they were testing, maybe they realized that conversion rates mysteriously went up when they switched to square photos. If that's the case,
or people spent more time on a page. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be any number of factors.
If that's the case, I mean, that's a positive signal for us, right? And even if it's inconvenient because sometimes we got to go and switch some things around and change things. Yeah, it can be a pain in the butt for us. However, if Etsy's found that buyers are more likely to spend money, I think it's worth it. But yes, I do believe that it is here to stay.
Can we discuss the new photography versus mock-ups rules, please? Do you have any further insights?
These are not new rules. These are not new. These are Etsy's original policies, and Etsy has never said that we can't use mockups. I don't know why people keep saying that. I keep seeing it on my post where I talked about Etsy put that thing in our listing editor that basically says that, make sure that you're using photos of your product. In Etsy's policies about our listing photos, they specifically say that, I will pull up the exact policy because I actually have it copied because I've had to say it out loud so many darn times this week. So I will paste it right in. Okay, I've got it.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to pull it up on the computer.
If an item is created with production assistance, so print on demand, for example, the listing's photos should be of the finished product or an image supplied by the production partner that accurately depicts the item the buyer will be receiving. All Etsy is telling us in that new little notification is that they don't want you to sell sketchy things that you're not supposed to be selling, that you didn't actually make yourself, and ripping the images off of Alibaba and putting those into your listings to sell those items.
It's another way to hit resellers.
Exactly.
That's really what it is. For when you get somebody who steals an image of a product from another Etsy seller or from another shop, and then they find somebody on Alibaba or they find a print company or somebody that can make it different, but it's not the product that they'll be receiving. It's basically just a double down on that kind of thing.
Right. So mockups, these are approved Etsy integrations. When we look at things like Printify and Printful and, any other POD service that you might use, these are integrations that Etsy has approved themselves. So if you utilize their mockups or even your own, as long as your mockups accurately depict what the customer will be receiving,
it needs to fit the description of the product, how it is described.
Exactly.
We already did that. If I'm just starting out my store, should I be focused on making Christmas stuff or worry more about evergreen things for now and try to catch Christmas rush next year?
That's really up to you. Just keep in mind that if you're going to list Christmas stuff, you need to definitely get on it. So I think it entirely depends on what you make and how long it takes. For example, we are opening a new shop with my business partner, Michelle, where we are going to be licensing with we're already licensed with authors, but we're going to be making their officially licensed merchandise for their popular book series. And because we are going to have to rely on a print-on-demand business model to be able to do something at this scale, we are going to be launching fall and we're going to be launching Christmas kind of late, but I have full confidence in my print providers that we've selected that those items are going to arrive on time. However, we are also going to have some generic products listed as well that are more evergreen. So really it's up to you. Keep in mind that people aren't just focusing on buying Christmas themed products for Christmas, though. I don't buy Christmas themed items to give as Christmas gifts. When I'm Christmas shopping, I am looking for things that are not themed in Christmas, because
Yep.
by Christmas Day, when I give that item, oh, if it's Christmas themed, it's not even relevant anymore.
Nope.
So I dare say that if your products are giftable, I wouldn't focus so much on making a bunch of Christmas themed items. Maybe toss in a couple, for those
Yeah, it won't
shopper.
hurt.
Yeah, for those shoppers who want a few Christmas things, but I would not make all of your products Christmas themed.
Etsy's telling me that my items may arrive late even when it's shipped early. What are we supposed to do?
Can't tell you. Etsy is being stupid again. I really, this is another one of those things that I don't know why it's happening.
Doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason for it.
I don't know why it's happening. It's very frustrating. Again, this is another one of those moments when we really just have to keep bugging Etsy. Again, keep using the hashtag #KeepEtsyHuman on all of our little gripes where we really need Etsy to start paying attention to our needs as sellers and stop treating us like we're Amazon. This is another one of those moments where, unfortunately, we're probably just going to have to repeatedly point it out to them. But yes, it's very frustrating, and I don't have a solution for it.
Will there be any discussion about Pinterest for the social media part in your...
Oh, in the boot camp? So not specifically. A lot of the strategies that we're going to be teaching are primarily going to be for Instagram. However, I am going to be showing you, for example, how to create short form video content that people actually watch, like Instagram Reels, like TikToks. And the cool things about your Instagram Reels and your TikToks is that those can be cross-posted to Pinterest, and videos perform very well on Pinterest, especially at that, what's the aspect ratio? 16:9?
For what?
Phone aspect ratio.
9:16.
9:16. 6. I always get the two. Yeah.
She don't do numbers.
9:16 aspect
That's
ratio.
my job.
Tall, right? Tall, phone shaped. That we see TikToks and Reels recorded in. Those perform very well on Pinterest because they take up more room on the screen, where 80% of Pinterest users, I believe it's 80%, are browsing from their phones. So we want to take up as much of their phone screen as possible, and those videos happen to take up a good chunk. So a lot of the things that you learn can be used over on Pinterest, but at no point in the boot camp are we going to have a Pinterest catered lessons specifically. It will mostly be Instagram.
Wes came in and said, "Hi, Starla. Hi, Rave Daddy." If you come to Lost Lands with us, I'll be your Rave Daddy. Social media, good for attracting clients, but for Etsy ranking, ? Doesn't Etsy have their own independent SEO system? You need to think of them as two completely separate entities. Social media is a funnel. Social media is a way to get customers to come to you, to follow you as an individual and identify with you as a human and not just someone working for a company. Etsy is a platform for handmade and personal selling. Your social media is a way for you to both connect with those people and to funnel people to your Etsy. And in turn, when you make sales, if they're coming from your social media, that will improve your shop. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, they're not, they both have their own algorithms, but they're not connected in any way aside from the marketing aspect. So social media, yes, great for attracting customers, right? Each social media platform has its own algorithm. For example, Instagram loves to see consistency in the topics that you post, topical consistency. They like to look at the keywords, not the hashtags, but the keywords that you're using in your captions, and utilize those in a way that helps them to identify what it is that your account is all about. It's why I recommend not having like all of your personal posts on your business page, because it muddles it up. So there's that, and that serves as a funnel. You're telling people from Instagram, go to Etsy. That has nothing to do with Etsy's algorithm. Etsy's algorithm is for internal traffic that exists within Etsy. These are the people who are on Etsy, like the people who are walking around in a shopping mall. They are shopping around and they have the possibility to find you. But in no way are those algorithms connected. But as he said, if someone comes from social media and they go to your Etsy shop and they find an item and they purchase that item, well, then that item benefits from that purchase in that its listing quality score increases. And that listing quality score can help that listing to rank in search, which is why I just had somebody message me about, they've got a competitor who has like virtually no SEO, no tags. They've got a listing that has like 12,000 sales. and they don't understand how. It's very likely that this person has like a really cool TikTok account or a really cool Instagram account. They're driving traffic to that listing. And because of that, even with bad SEO, as long as Etsy can figure out what that listing is, they're going to rank it higher in search, which is really frustrating for, those of us who spend all this time on our SEO. And then there's this guy over here who isn't even trying and he's getting all these sales. But it makes sense because Etsy has identified that people really like this item. And this item is associated with this keyword so that when people on Etsy are searching for this keyword, they should also see this item, even if this item isn't perfectly optimized. So I hope that answers your question. What's up?
You done now?
Yeah, I'm done.
Somebody asked me how long I'm going to grow my beard. As long as she will let me grow it.
I'm happy with it right where it is. I don't want
I'm going to keep growing it until she tells me she doesn't want me to grow it anymore.
I don't want a ZZ Top beard, please.
It's not a ZZ Top beard.
Not yet.
I'm going to grow it, and then I'm going to do probably the braid on top of it down the middle. Do the Viking thing. I sell POD onesies. Is it a risk to use the word onesie as it's trademarked? Yes. If your question is, can I use this? It's trademarked or copyright. The answer is don't use it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody says, whose opinion they have. It's against the law, so don't do it.
Yeah.
I see some sellers using baby bodysuit, but no one's using that term to search. What do you recommend?
I mean, I recommend not doing the thing that's going to get you taken down by Gerber because Gerber does go after Etsy sellers who use the word onesie, unfortunately. I know it sucks because that's how our customers think, but using that keyword in your tags and titles, I mean, all Gerber has to do is go into Etsy's IP reporting portal and type in onesie, and then every listing that utilizes the word onesie will pop up. And Gerber, I know for a fact, is one of the brands that does protect their IP against Etsy sellers. So Gerber. So be very, very careful. And yeah, bodysuit probably doesn't get as many views, but it's a safer bet. I know that sucks, but I wouldn't risk it.
Speaking of Pinterest, this is not strictly a holidays question, but can you recommend a good Pinterest course that covers everything from A to Z, looking at Nancy Badillo's course?
So I have not found... okay, let me backtrack. It's not that I haven't found. I have not taken any good Pinterest courses. I've taken 2 Pinterest courses. I took one super duper cheap one on Udemy, and it was not good. It was not good at all. In fact, it was the most basic information that I already knew from YouTube. I was not a fan of that. So then I started looking into the best Pinterest courses, and I found Pinterest's official Pinterest Academy that they run. Their Pinterest Academy is free, first of all. So that already makes it worth it to watch. The main thing about it to be aware of is they're using their course in order to push you to use Pinterest ads. However, as somebody who wasn't interested in using Pinterest ads, I just wanted to learn more about Pinterest when I watched it. I found the course to be one of the most fun courses I've ever taken. It's interactive. You can actually click on things and you get fun little quizzes. I learned a lot. And if you're able to kind of cherry pick through it and, especially the portions about their content, and they even have a keyword tool for their platform, which I think is phenomenal that they provide that. I learned a lot. So if you just look up Pinterest Academy, that's their course and it's free. And why not take it if it's free? Even if, you decide to take something paid later down the line, start with the thing directly from the horse's mouth.
I hate Etsy's new red banner as it clashes with my header. Is that a permanent feature? Is it red? I thought it was just a brighter orange.
It's orange and we don't have it. I've been checking it and I don't have it.
I don't have it. Though I don't believe it's red. If you're seeing red, then your monitor might be putting out the wrong colors.
Yeah, I've never seen it red, but I would assume that they're running a test. They do a lot of testing around the holidays. For example, they're testing with our titles right now. Have you noticed? Anywhere that you've added in your punctuation, Etsy cuts off the title right there and you only get that little snippet. And at first...
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. What?
Pull it up real quick. Search for silver necklace. Now, you know what? The algorithm is reading that full title. Just so we're clear, they're not only reading that tiny snippet. What likely is happening?
It is.
Yeah.
This one's not.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it's not. There's punctuation right here.
But that's not punctuation. That's just a dot.
It's a middle dot. That might be a way around that.
But
There's a comma.
Yeah, but there's no space.
No space. Yep.
So
considering it one word.
So what I think they're doing is, I think that they're just trying to clean up search pages for shoppers before the holiday season.
I am all about that, because while keyword optimization does make it easier to find your listings, I absolutely cannot stand browsing through Etsy because it feels like I'm browsing through freaking eBay.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that it's not like that. However, that is a tactic that I also use to help narrow down what shops are Chinese crap reproduction shops, because they will usually just spam random frickin' words.
Yeah.
So now I can't do that.
But at the same time, like, the algorithm is looking at our whole title either way. I think that this is just a little cleanup effort to see how these listings perform during the holiday season. And honestly, there's no work that we have to do as sellers. You should be leading with the keywords that most accurately describe what your item is anyway. You should never lead your titles with gift for mom. You should always make sure that if you're going to add something like gift for mom, it's more towards the middle or back end of your title. But
I think it's going to make it cleaner. I'm cool with that.
I think it looks nice. Etsy's algorithm's reading the full title. They're just only showing shoppers.
I like it when Etsy makes a change that I don't have to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those ones where no matter what, I mean, if punctuation is part of your title and it screws it up, you're probably few and far between. And I get that's probably a pain in the butt, but I can't even think of any cases where that would be an issue.
Yeah.
How does eRank calculate listing average price? Does free shipping go into the equation?
Listing average price. So, okay, what tool are you in? I'm stumbling over myself because I don't know. Offhand, I don't know. I wish Pam was here because she would know. And that makes me look awful because I'm a manager at eRank, but we've got like 6,000 tools at eRank now. I don't understand all of them 100%. But what I would do is pop into the eRank group over on Facebook. Listing average price. Are you looking in your competitor tools? Are you looking in your listing audit? Be a little bit more specific about where you're looking. I will say that for those of you who have noticed things like our competitor sales numbers and our competitor like revenue estimates, those are about 80% accurate because that data isn't publicly available via the Etsy API. Our team has had to build some super duper smarty pants algorithm that's able to kind of factor in the number of sales that a product has gotten.
They're smarter than we are, so we can't tell you how they do it.
Yeah, right. But they've been able to basically give us something that is as close to accurate as possible for those tools. But feel free to, either elaborate a little bit more, or if you don't want to hear me bumble on about it, join the eRank group on Facebook. It's just called eRank group.
Yeah. Questions like how does eRank do it? Those are better for people that do that kind of stuff for eRank.
Right. I can usually tell you what the tool's functions are on your end, but how they do it, probably not a good question for me.
Not our deal. How is the Keep Etsy Human campaign coming along? What can we do? So I don't think we know the direct results of it, but it can't be coincidental that literally like 3 days after the thing ended, they put a banner up about selling real products, right?
Yeah. So Keep Etsy Human, I think, went fantastic. There were so many posts.
So many posts.
You
guys are freaking awesome.
So many posts, so many Instagram stories, so many. I mean, it was phenomenal. We got a couple really great news and media, sites kind of picked us up. I've talked to multiple journalists. I'm still kind of in communication with a couple of them. One of the biggest impacts that I've personally seen in a short time, because like I said, if we see a lot of impact, I doubt it's going to be until they release their Q4 investors report.
And they won't acknowledge if it's us that made them change something. So
they won't acknowledge Keep Etsy Human at all. Like in no
capacity.
But that's not what we want. We just want the change, right? So a couple things that we have noticed is that they are doing surveys one-on-one with sellers, and a lot of the things that they're talking about with those sellers are directly related to some of the concerns that we've brought up during Keep Etsy Human.
Yep.
Whether those were a result of us or they, were doing this before, I don't know. But I've had multiple people reach out to me to say that they have been in one-on-ones with Etsy where they're not allowed to talk about, specifics. Etsy had, like NDAs that they had to sign or whatever. But that a lot of the things that they talked about were closely related to our movement. So I'll consider that a win. Even if we didn't, trigger it, it's still going.
They're asking about it.
It's working towards the goal, right?
Yes.
Second thing is that right after Keep Etsy Human, Etsy put something on our new listing editor page, that ugly blue one that we all don't like. There's a big banner on that basically reiterating the points about Etsy's policies and making sure that the products being listed are, follow Etsy's policies. Again, that's one of the things that we talked about, all the people selling things on Etsy that they shouldn't be. And Etsy recently started sending out emails to individual sellers. I thankfully saved those as well. Those emails say, help us keep Etsy safe. The Etsy marketplace and sellers' businesses continue to grow, and with that growth comes new requirements and regulations to keep up with, such as the Inform Act, the Digital Services Act, and evolving tax regulations. To meet these local and global requirements, next month, we'll start asking some Etsy sellers to share a bit more information about themselves and their businesses. Collecting this info will help us keep the Etsy marketplace safe and compliant, and also create a better experience for buyers so they keep coming back knowing that Etsy is a trusted place to shop.
Can't be coincidence that a ton of this stuff happened literally within a day or two after.
It could be
the
coincidence.
day.
I'm not going to sit
The banner
here.
popped up on what, Sunday? The movement was on Saturday.
It popped up, I think it was more like Monday night. I can't remember. But either way, like, I think that, even if we didn't trigger the quakes are happening, and
We contributed to it for sure.
These are positive signs. How can you help? Keep tagging Etsy with Keep Etsy Human and thank them. Use the hashtag, but thank them when they make a change that you like. Don't just gripe. We need to also, give them some positive feedback on the good changes. We need to make sure that we're, again, not being rude. We want to make sure that we're being encouraging when we're posting about the things that we want them to change, because these are the things that make them actually take notice. If they just hear a bunch of us like, we hate you, they're not going to listen to us. And hopefully this is a sign that they are.
Why is my alt text for my pictures always gone?
Are you using the new listing editor? Because if you're using the new listing editor, the blue one, or it's got, the blue banner on the top, that one doesn't even allow us to do alt text. You can only add your alt text from the old listing editor, which
I'm not surprised because people abuse the crap out of it.
Yeah, you can revert back. There's a button in the top right. It'll usually ask you why do you not want to use the new listing editor? Put some feedback in there that says, I don't have the ability to add alt text in the new listing editor. Because this is something important. This is accessibility for those who are visually impaired. These screen readers rely on alt text in order to tell someone who is blind, for example, or even colorblind, what it is on the screen. They hear it, and this is their world. We have to think about the individuals who live their world not being able to see. Their eyes are this input from their screen reader. So we need to be able to cater to those individuals as well. And on a busy search page, if you're the only person who has actually catered your listing to that individual who's visually impaired, you are the only listing on that page that is visible to them. And I think that that's powerful.
Let's see. How can I purchase my own products? Etsy denied me access from my site. If you're trying to do it in order to make your listings rank by having your products purchased, it's against the law to begin with. So
yeah, you can't do that. You can't purchase your own products. That's shilling.
It's shilling. If you're trying to do it just to see how the system works,
buy from somebody else.
I would say buy from somebody else. Well, no, because then you wouldn't see it in your shop. Either way, you're not allowed to do it. So
yeah, you can't.
There's no real way I can provide you that advice legally.
Yeah.
When do you stop posting Christmas themed products for POD?
I think it completely depends on what your POD product is. I wouldn't be posting anything in December. I would make sure that print on demand's a little different because you can get that stuff up a lot quicker than a business that's making everything by hand. For POD and digital, I dare say that you should not post a thing past Black Friday, because really, that's when people are thinking about the holidays. After that, you're it might be better to start focusing on the next holiday or evergreen products. I personally wouldn't post anything past Black Friday, though. I mean, that's the day when Etsy sees more shoppers historically than any other day of the year. That's, the Alpha Holiday Bootcamp that I keep talking about. Our focus in that bootcamp is Cyber Week. Cyber Week on Etsy is huge. Cyber Week online is huge.
What date would you suggest officially launching holiday products this season?
Right now. As soon as possible, really.
If they're holiday related, you have to understand that people need enough time
to
be able to put those products out, like to be able to use those products. So if you're selling holiday themed products soon.
Can you pop into eRank real quick and see if our
I'm definitely not logged in.
Yeah, but it should auto populate my creds.
No, because I don't do that.
Oh, okay. Over at eRank, we, around the first of the month, we get our data. So I'm hoping that it's in there for the previous month. But our data for last month showed that people were already searching for Christmas themed items. I mean, we've got tons of students who are already talking about how their Christmas themed listings are selling.
Go for it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pop into the keyword tool. No, you guys aren't supposed to see what and then just type Christmas. Okay, and let's just take a quick peek here. Okay, so our data is in. Are we able to screen share this? Yeah, can they see this?
Yep.
Okay, so we've already got our data in for August, so that's great.
And they're already on the rise, exactly the same. Yeah. And if you look, oh, of course, it's just going to explode it.
Yep.
Roughly beginning of July into August. That's what we have right now. July into August is where things start to build up. And then August into September. September into October is when they really explode. October into November is when they peak, and then they immediately die off. So if you don't have them pretty much finished selling by mid-November, then it's way too late.
And look at the patterns from last year as well, because the patterns from last year are going to be quite indicative of what we can expect for this year. Mm-hmm. So, we see that trend graph for Christmas. Christmas gift, again, most of the searches are in November. October, it looks like Christmas decor. Quite a few were searching in October for that. Christmas ornaments, looks like it was mostly November, but quite a few in December. Christmas cards, looks like November, but most people searched for Christmas cards in December. So they were a little late. So,
and that's the thing, is when it comes to selling products, you don't want to get them out like when they're selling. The thing that you're wanting to do is to try to get that listing quality score built. So around here, you're going to sell a couple and then try to get your products to where they're popular
right
in this time frame. That way you're actually optimizing the amount of time that you actually have.
Yeah. So get them listed now. Really. Get them up there for real. People are searching. Get them up in there. People are searching for them right now.
That was an awful try at that accent.
Sorry. I apologize.
You should be.
I'm wearing,
but I'm embarrassing.
I'm wearing my lumberjack shirt.
That was embarrassing.
I had to do my
embarrassing.
All right. Oh, thanks to those of you who donated to Meals on Wheels. We appreciate you.
I do laser cutting and often have items that can be multiples, things such as magnets or key rings or wall art. Do you recommend I list them all under one listing as individual? If they're different products, I would probably list them separately.
Yeah, list them separately, because if I'm searching for a keychain, you're going to need to have that listing optimized for keychain and use keychain related keywords.
The only time I would say that might be different is if you're the kind of shop where you have like 10,000 products. If you're able to consolidate those, like, oh, I do this specific Christmas tree, and then I do this specific Christmas tree on a cutout and this kind of print and this thing, then maybe it makes sense. But it's a little easier for people to be able to tell what your options are if you don't have them all crammed into one listing. So that really depends there, I think, in my opinion.
And for Etsy to be able to tell what it is that you're selling.
Exactly. It makes it hard for them to categorize, especially with listing descriptions being like the primary thing that helps them categorize now.
Yeah, the context there.
I've been trying to change all my photos to square. Don't know if that helps or not. And somebody had asked if they should go through and retake all their photos for square format.
No, you shouldn't need to do that. All you need to do is go into the back end of your listing and where you have the option to adjust. I mean, as long as you didn't take your photos so close up that, like, for example, you know, I'll just use this little bag. Like, if you took your photo, like, so close that you have no room to back it up, then
you need to retake your photos anyway.
Right. But if you can just adjust the thumbnail within Etsy, you have the option where your thumbnail is to kind of pick how you want it positioned. As long as that product is right in the middle and you can see the whole product, it should be totally fine. And you don't need to re-upload square photos. A rectangular photo, the focal point just becomes a square on that rectangle.
And Sybil had expanded on what she had said. She wants to buy the products to see the quality of certain products. Don't buy them through Etsy. Buy them directly through your print supplier.
Oh yeah, if you're a print-on-demand service, your whatever service you're using, you can buy samples.
Most of them. I mean, not all of them, I'm sure, but
Printify and Printful both do sample orders, and you have that option on the back end. Yeah, that's
totally fine.
No, that's recommended.
You just can't do it through your Etsy shop.
Yeah, I mean, and you wouldn't want to either, because it would be so much better for you to go in the back end and be able to order through your print provider, because sometimes you get discounts on those. Printful, you get. Do you still get a discount since they rolled out their membership program? Printify, actually, I don't think offers discounts, do they? Well, sample orders. Actually,
I thought you got like 3 per month.
No, that's Printful.
That is Printful. You're right.
Printify, when you're a Printify premium member, you get discounts on products. But both allow you to place sample orders. So
I've been really fighting with myself on raising my prices, but I think I have to because I'm putting in overtime to fulfill holiday orders already. Do you think it would tank sales if I do that? No, that is a completely normal sales tactic. It is literally the principle of supply and demand. When the demand becomes too high for the supply to keep up, the prices go up. That's how that works.
Yeah, just raise them and keep them raised, because as I always say, it's easier to make one $100 sale than it is to make 100 $1 sales. So do you think that your sales would tank? No, you might make less sales, but that's a good thing because you'll still make the same amount of money for less effort. And that's the goal, right? It's to work less and optimize those listings that we have.
You should be pricing in the top 10% of your industry. That's the rule that we always stick by. And I know somebody's going to try to correct me and say that's not how supply and demand works, because you're supposed to hire more people and put out more products. Obviously, eventually you get to that point. You can't immediately afford to hire more people until you get to that point. You do need to raise your prices. And the majority of the time people are pricing too low anyway, especially if you're new. That's probably one of the biggest things that we see, is that people increase their prices and their sales increase.
Right. Well, perception of quality.
Exactly.
I know I use this example a lot, but if you go to the jewelry store and you want to buy a diamond engagement ring and you see 2 identical rings, but one is $1,000 and one is $10,000, and they look the same, you're not going to look at that $1,000 ring and think, wow, what a steal. Next to the $10,000 ring, if they look identical, you're going to wonder, what the heck is wrong with this one? Why is it only $1,000 when this one is $10,000? And in your brain, you're going to say, that one's probably made with better materials, or that one has something special about it, or that one has, a higher carat diamond, I know that it feels like people only want to bargain shop, but that's not the case. I know that it feels that way, and Etsy tends to make us feel that way.
Society tends to make us feel that way because those are the people with the loudest voice.
But when I want something cheap and junky, I go to Amazon. When I want something nice and I'm willing to spend money on it, I go to Etsy, right? Because I know that I'm going to get, well, in most cases, as long as I do my own research and I don't buy from a weird company, I know I'm going to get a quality product that was made by hand, hopefully. So,
hopefully. And somebody had said, if I increase the price of a listing, will people who have it in their cart get notified?
I don't think so. I do not believe that they get any notification about the price going up. And unfortunately, sometimes you just have to do it. I mean, it's no different.
Yeah, that's not really your responsibility, and they can't really get mad at you for that anyway. They can't leave you a bad review because they thought they were buying something for one price.
Right. I mean, what if you decided to run a sale and they put it in their cart during the sale and then
Right.
the sale's over and it's still in their cart? You know, they can't really complain because they missed the sale.
How do you prioritize what you do? I have so many projects going on that I am floundering. Planner.
This is
Good
the
old paper planner.
This is the Legend Planner. This is Mark's. I use the same one, but mine is the Legend Planner Weekly. Yours is the Legend Planner Monthly, right?
Mine is just the upgraded version of yours. Mine has the weekly stuff in it too.
Not sponsored, not an affiliate. This planner is the bomb. I've been using this brand of planners for 2 years now. It is my lifeline. I fill it out every Sunday night. I do my week. I will fill out, what I need to do that week. And at the end of every month, I will sit and fill out a self-assessment page on how I think I did. I sit and reflect on my progress. Because a lot of the times, especially as creative businesses, we tend to do a lot that we know we have to do, but it's not written down anywhere. We just know we have to do it. But then when we actually look at the end of the month, we feel like we didn't do anything.
Is it a day per page? No.
No.
It's
a week.
There's a lot of different stuff in here. There's I'm not going to go through it right now, but there's a monthly calendar.
Yeah.
Depends on which version you get.
I use the Legend Planner Weekly. There's tons of colors, so they're really fun. They look really cute. But you get
Legend Planner is the name of it.
Yeah, Legend Planner. And you can get them on Amazon for, I think they're like $20-something. They're kind of pricey, but I think it's worth it if you're going to use it every day. Mine is my second one. I had one last year and I have one this year, and I'll definitely be buying another one.
Is that planner ADHD brain friendly? I have ADHD. I use it.
I suspect.
I don't think there's such a thing as an ADHD friendly planner, and I think anybody that sells one with that terminology is probably scamming you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's ADHD acts in a different way. So there is no way to make an all-encompassing ADHD friendly thing. I think having a planner is the best way to manage your ADHD than not having a planner.
Right, because you get a little dopamine rush from like checking things off that list.
Yeah, I think that's for the most part, people that don't have busy schedules, people that just work a 9 to 5, you don't need a planner. But obviously, as creatives with hobbies and businesses and also jobs and potentially kids and families and lives, you need a planner, and we get it on Amazon.
Yeah. And I mean, if you don't like having
about $20-$30, depending on the version that you get.
If you don't like having a physical planner, I mean, digital planners are cool.
To be honest with you, as someone with ADHD, physical planner is way better because that you can't walk past your desk and not see this sitting on it, especially if you get one of the more vibrant colors. If it's a planner in my phone, if it's got an update pending and I don't feel like waiting on the update, that kind of thing, it's out of sight, out of mind. This can't be out of sight if you put it somewhere where it's always in sight.
Yeah.
I keep it on my desk.
My planner is always open. I fill that sucker out. I mean, every single day. I am looking at my planner almost all day, every day.
And there's definitely ways that I think companies can organize things to be ADHD friendly, putting things in order, that kind of thing. But are they dated? You date them yourself. That way you don't have to have a planner that you start like, if I buy this in this month, I'm not wasting
half of it.
This much of paper. You can start it in December and continue into the following year. I have a young shop, so only 8 reviews, all positive, but one is 2 stars, even though the client is glowing and loves her product. How do I approach that? I did send a kind message with no reply.
It really sucks. Sometimes when the app pops up, they get fumble fingers and they accidentally click the wrong thing. It stinks. Unfortunately, if she doesn't remove it, then you are kind of stuck in terms of like if you were trying to get Star Seller, but Star Seller doesn't have any impact on the algorithm. So that's neither here nor there. I would honestly just reply to the review if you're okay with it being locked in at the 2 stars, maybe leave a public reply to that review and say, I'm so glad you loved your product. I see that you only left 2 stars, but I assume that this was a mistake since this is a glowing review. I might even say sometimes the Etsy app is tricky, LOL. Just be casual, you know. And remember, you're not speaking to the person who left the review because they're probably never even going to see that you responded. You're more responding to all the people who in the future read your
it.
right, and they'll see that 2-star review and they'll read the review itself and be like, why the heck did they leave 2 stars?
Yeah, because people don't usually just say, oh, wow, 2-star review, screw this. They're going to read why. Because it might be something stupid. We've all seen it. We go to buy a product that has glowing reviews, and then someone leaves an absolutely asinine comment about something like, oh, I received it late. Like it's like on an Amazon review or something like that. It's like, I received it late. And it's like, that's literally not the product's fault.
Yeah.
But
my favorite is when I go to buy books on Amazon where I want to know if people enjoyed the story, and someone will comment and they'll be like, Amazon said it would arrive yesterday. I have Amazon Prime. And I'm like, no, I want to know how the book is. I want to know how the story is.
And people are going to ignore those reviews like everywhere else.
Yeah. So
have confidence in people's abilities. I know people act stupid a lot, but not everybody's dumb.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it though. Don't stress about it. It sucks, but it's not going to hurt you to have one stinker on there.
Etsy's testing my patience. I know it's a slow time for sales, but I had 0 sales last month. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to add descriptions for every picture on listing for people who have eye vision issues? It says it helps with SEO, but how important is it? We kind of already talked about alt text. Alt text is what that is for.
Yeah. For people with visual impairments, I mean, how fair is it to have some of your listings optimized for those people and not others? I think that what's important is that you are making sure that the alt text is unique and explains something different. You don't just need to have the same alt text on every photo. If you're doing that, you might as well only have it on one. Because if I was blind or had a visual impairment and I scrolled over, you know, to have my screen reader read through them all and they all said the same thing, I would just be like, oh, this person didn't care enough to accurately optimize all of these, you know, uniquely. If the product is, for example, you know, maybe it is something like this little bag where there's a front side and a back side, I might describe, you know, silk pouch with watercolor painted fox standing in a nighttime forest. And then maybe I do this one, you know, orange watercolor painted fox on a silk pouch standing in an autumn forest scene. I would get more descriptive than that, but this product has multiple elements about it that should be described that the customer should know about. So in that case I would, but alt text, from what we know, it doesn't help with your Etsy SEO. I believe that it's only a Google SEO thing. However, you shouldn't optimize it for the sake of...
Nah, you should optimize it for people who are impaired.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get some keywords in there, because if you're accurately describing your item, if this is a silk bag with, you know, a fox, okay, you know, fox, that's a keyword. Silk bag, you know, makeup bag or whatever, that's a good keyword. Those are all keywords that I would naturally need to describe in order to accurately describe this item to someone who can't see it anyway. If someone is blind and they cannot see this item, I have to describe everything about it. This is a, you know, I need to tell them around how big it is, you know, I need to tell them, which that could go in your description, but I need to tell them what the texture looks like. I need to tell them what is in the picture that's on it.
Thanks for the words. I'll use them because I just don't understand why 2 stars, like it was even early. You never know. It could be somebody who maybe they did it on their mobile phone and they were scrolling after they hit the star and they bumped the 2 star.
Yeah.
Maybe they're stoned out of their mind and they weren't paying attention. Could have been drunk.
You never know. You really don't.
Could be a crap head. Somebody that's like, yeah, this is great, but screw you. You literally have no idea.
Yeah, it stinks, but maybe try.
Such is life.
Maybe try to reach out to them one more time.
Yeah,
Just say, hey, just want to make sure that you're happy with your item. I'm really concerned. I saw that you only left 2 stars and I want to make sure that you absolutely love your product. And if they don't reply to that, then I would just go ahead and respond publicly.
Any chance you'll have a full social media course anytime soon? If not, who do you recommend for holding my hand?
A full social media. Well, the problem with social media is that they're all different and they
frequently change.
They all change all the time, always. And that makes it really hard, which is why I prefer to cover social media content for free on YouTube. That way, when things change, I can be here and just tell you. I can give you some resources though. So
Blow my nose. I'll be right back.
down below, I've got my free 30-day Instagram challenge. I frequently have people tell me that I should charge money for it because it helps them so much. It's free. It will help you to build 30 days worth of Instagram content to help you, start building post consistency, to help you understand Instagram's algorithm a little bit better, and to start developing good habits on the platform. So definitely grab that. I talked about Pinterest's official Pinterest Academy. Again, you got to kind of cherry pick the content because they really are trying to push you to invest money in their ads program, but it's a free course. So why not take it and learn what you can, right? A couple of my favorite accounts to follow for Instagram are Brock Johnson. Brock Johnson is awesome. I've never taken any of his paid things. He has
His first Pokemon is Onyx.
he has the Insta Club Hub. It's like some group that you can join. It's a paid thing. I'm not a member of that. I don't know anything about his paid stuff, but I know that I learn a lot from his Instagram account. Adam Mosari. He is Instagram CEO. He gives updates anytime there's anything new about Instagram that we should know about. He's fantastic. I love his account. And Instagram Creators. That is an account run by Instagram that teaches you unique ways to use the tools that Instagram provides to us. I love Instagram Creators. I am always excited when I see a new post from them because I always learn something new. So those are my suggestions. I would be very wary if you're looking for an all-inclusive social media course that covers everything. As someone who is a course creator who hates like how 99.9% of courses are
There
run.
are more bad courses out there than there are good. Significantly more.
You guys know that. We don't have to tell you that. Look for a couple key things. Make sure that it's updated frequently. Email them and ask how frequently is this updated. Make sure that you get that bit of information. Make sure that there's a good refund policy. I dare say a minimum of, I say 2 weeks probably is a good like minimum amount of time. Like we have a 30-day, window for our program, but 2 weeks I dare say is.
And anybody that says absolutely no refunds, avoid like the frickin' plague.
Unless they're doing one-on-one with you, because that's like their time, their hours.
Well, I don't think anybody assumes that you can do a one-on-one and get a refund for something. You've already received the full focus of the product. I will not take a course that does not offer refunds.
Yeah, so look for
flat out. Courses that force you to submit homework, submit that you tried, spend a certain amount of time. I don't particularly care for courses that drip feed. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It does usually mean that they're inexperienced a lot of the time. But outside of that, you should be okay.
Yeah.
The refunds and the homework are the two that I don't like.
Yeah, and
absolutely do not like.
And try to get some reviews that aren't just posted on their like page. Make sure that if there are reviews, it's not just things that they've copied and pasted. For example, I'm not toting our course right now because it's not open. It won't be open till December. But we make sure that we take actual screenshots when people talk about our course. We take a screenshot of that post, like from Facebook, if they posted, so you can see the original post where they posted it on Facebook. I'm not just copying and pasting a bunch of their, reviews. I try to make it a point where you guys can verify for yourselves. You guys can post in my Facebook group and say, hey, any HAA students, can you answer my questions about this? Make sure that you know what you're buying, that you have a way to communicate with some other people who have experienced this thing, that you have an email where you can contact this individual. They've got a good refund policy in place. No questions asked if they want a bunch of homework or proof that you tried. Like, they're just trying to make it hard for you. And make sure that it gets updated frequently, and that there's a way to get help. Like if you need
easy things to check for usually privacy policies and terms and conditions. One of those two is legally required in the United States. I don't remember. It's one of the two. If they don't have either, then
privacy policy is required.
Yeah, I think its privacy policy is legally required. That's the one to look for. You'll usually have it linked on the bottom of the page. If you go to our website, it's down there by the copyright 2023 or whatever I have down there right now. What is drip feed? That is when you sign up for a course and you get content over a certain period of time. And I know that sounds sketchy because that's how our that's how our boot camp works. But it's not drip feed. It is an experience it day by day thing.
Because it's a boot camp.
It's a very similar thing, but it's more like you pay for this content. You're not doing it together. It's not a boot camp thing. This is just how this course does things.
Right. But a course where like you don't know what you've bought until it's too late to
refund.
Exactly. Like,
right.
Oh, you bought the course, but here you get day one. And then you don't get to know what else there even is when you've spent your money. That's always a big red flag. And like he said, the boot camp is drip fed, but that's the point, is it's a day by day where we're all working together and we're developing the content. And one of those days is a live stream and we haven't figured out how to time travel yet.
Yeah, exactly. Someday.
But drip feeding isn't an immediate red flag. I have seen some pretty good courses where they drip feed in order to avoid overwhelm.
Yeah, it's brand new courses that immediately drip feed, and it's the first thing that they do. And I'm not saying that they're bad by any stretch of the imagination, but that, to me, I've taken courses, and every drip fed course that I have taken has been bad.
Have you really?
Yes. I have taken multiple courses that have been drip feed, mostly music related, and they've all been bad.
I don't take drip fed courses because there's some days when I want to do more than what has been fed to me. I want to do more than that. I want to watch more.
Yep.
And I don't like.
And a lot of them have been people that release their course and then like a year later they disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's tax evasion or something else because they don't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's see. How can we calculate shipping times and cutoff times for holiday gifts? In my case, POD specific. I know it's different for everyone, but I don't know the date to put as a cutoff on my shop for a gift to be in time.
So here's my rule of thumb. Obviously print on demand, it's a little complicated because you're going to be using different, shipping suppliers. Hopefully you've taken a look at where your products are shipping from. For example, if you use Printify, you can select where your products are being printed if it's a U.S. company, for example, and you're in the U.S. Whatever shipping service you will primarily be using, we'll just say, we'll use USPS as the standard. Whatever they say their shipping cutoff day is, their safe day, their deadline, I would add at least a week or 2 on top of that because they are always wrong and we have been doing this for 11 freaking years and
USPS is always wrong. And that's also not even factoring in weather.
That's true.
Like we're talking about the time of year when some places have a foot plus of snow on the ground and trucks aren't moving during then.
Yeah.
So even that has to be factored into it. So a week at a minimum, 2 is the safe bet.
I always say like December 1st through the 10th, and the 10th, I personally, for the boot camp, I recommend the 5th. But the 1st through the 10th, it's enjoy your holiday, give yourself some holiday like time to chill, because even with POD, you've still got to like keep track of everything, make sure things are being shipped out on time. You've got to still deal with customers. I am a big fan of respecting yourself and your time and taking that holiday break and enjoying it with your family.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, don't forget to give yourself some you time. But yeah, like December 1st through the 10th, anywhere in there is usually a safe bet. If you want to do it right smack dab in the middle, the 5th is a pretty safe bet as well.
I have problems publishing a listing from Printify. It says price error. Do you experience this and how to solve it? This is my first ever listing. Different currency on Etsy versus Printify. If that were going to be my guess, that's probably why.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would have to see it. But Printify has pretty great support. I would recommend joining the Printify POD Rock Stars group on Facebook. That's actually run by Printify. The admins in there are Printify staff, tons of knowledgeable sellers in there. I would post your question in there, because if a staff member doesn't get to you, then somebody who has experience in it will. I haven't personally experienced that though, so I can't tell you.
On social media, what do you guys think about hiring someone to do your social media stuff for your store? A virtual assistant's wonderful. We recently hired a virtual assistant, a good friend of Starla's. I'm pretty sure Starla's going to leave me for our virtual assistant because she's
Love
so
you,
wonderful
Michelle.
and helpful. If you can afford a virtual assistant, it's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, Michelle doesn't do in fact, I hired Michelle so I would have more time to do like my actual posts. But I do have Michelle looking over my messages on social media and things like that. Make sure it's someone that you can trust.
Yeah.
That's
in most cases, if you're going to hire somebody that isn't like a direct friend, even if they are a friend, I am on the boat that you should not hire your friends. I don't think it's a good idea. If something happens and you stiff your friends, then you not only lose a business partner, you lose a friend. I think it's best to not hire friends. Acquaintances are one thing. General safety tips: make sure that when it comes to handling things like social media, don't just like give them your Facebook and Instagram login information. Make them an editor or a manager of it through their account. That way, if something happens to your business or you say something and it pisses them off, they can't just go and ruin you, destroy your social media accounts. That's kind of it.
Michelle?
Make sure that you maintain control of your business if you have to fire this person.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
And Michelle, if you're watching, you were my student before you were my friend, and then you turned into my friend, and then you turned into my VA. So I don't want her to think that she's not my friend. You are my friend.
I don't think she would perceive it that way. I think she understands.
Yeah, she's my friend.
One, women's with an apostrophe and women's without an apostrophe. Stickers, plural, sticker, singular, t-shirt with a hyphen, t-shirt without a hyphen, question mark?
So
for Etsy SEO, are these word pairs considered the same so I don't have to waste tags?
So on eRank, when you type in these keywords and you compare them, we actually have a compared keywords tool over at eRank. For those who are new here, Mark and I are managers over at eRank. The compare keywords tool will give you a good idea of what Etsy shoppers are searching for. That's the way that they are shopping. That's how their brains work. This is what they are typing in or are more likely to type in. Etsy's algorithm doesn't care either way, right? So what I recommend doing, if you notice big differences in the search volumes for the two, because we know that Etsy's algorithm doesn't care either way, I would go with whatever more actual shoppers are typing in while they're shopping. That's just how I do it. I want to get that as close to what shoppers are actually typing in as possible. Etsy's algorithm should, based on everything that we know about how it works and what they have said, Etsy, factors in things like plurals and stuff like that. They know that it's the same, but I would still go with what most shoppers are typing in.
I have a niche down shop, Bookish, and are kind of planning to skip Halloween and focus hard on giftable boxes and combos. Do you think that's a bad idea, just trying to focus on the longer holiday?
Yeah, we're a Bookish shop as well, and you're late for Halloween, so move.
Yeah, it's already a little past that. That's next month.
Yeah, all of your biggest competitors, if you're a Bookish shop, they've already got their fall lines out. So I would focus on winter. We are launching a late fall collection, but we're not like doing a heavy emphasis on Halloween. So I dare say that your best bet would just be to go ahead and move along to either the next holiday or some more evergreen type products, like you said, that are giftable.
Mm-hmm. I just started a business Pinterest account and noticed twice with a link to posted twice with a link to my Etsy. How do I get people to see my post? Does Pinterest build that organically if people search my SEO and words and click?
Yeah, so Pinterest, it's got its own search algorithm. The key things that you want to make sure that if you're posting on Pinterest and you're specifically doing it from Pinterest, make sure that you've optimized your pin title, your pin description. You should also have pin alt text as well. Treat it just like the Etsy alt text. Make sure you're utilizing it in a way that you're actually, describing what is in that pin to someone who might be visually impaired. making sure that, you've got your link connected properly. Don't just go to your Etsy listing where we have those little pin it buttons. Don't just use those. Get unique with it. Make sure that you're uploading your own photo, creating a pin directly from Instagram, and actually creating that pin fresh. So you have a lot more control over the keywords that you're using. But in terms of if they have a search algorithm, yeah, it's totally different than Etsy's. I'm not quite sure how it works, but I always just use the same old tried and true strategies of making sure that I'm using keywords that make the most sense.
This is all the way back to the
Oh,
Gerber
no.
question. I missed this, even if you're printing on a Gerber onesie. So the question way back was, can I use the term onesie if I'm printing children's products? No, you cannot. But what if you're printing on a Gerber onesie?
No, because Gerber is not. I mean, they take down listings for this. Now, there are companies like, for example, if you're working with Printify and you're printing on a Bella Canvas shirt.
You can say Bella Canvas.
Right. Bella Canvas, they know that their shirts are used for print on demand companies. They've licensed their products that way. Same with like Champion, they do it. Comfort Colors, they do it. That's different. Gerber, they hold licensing over their products. They don't want you to use the names of their products. So I dare say that it wouldn't matter either way, even if you are printing on a Gerber onesie. I wouldn't risk it.
Can I recommend a Pinterest course? Nope, you can't. Banned. No, I'm just kidding.
What's it called?
Levy Road Studio.
Levy Road Studio. Cool. I will look into it.
I have a bestseller that was selling consistently, but for some reason it just stopped selling a week or more ago, while its duplicate, also a bestseller, continues to sell. Any idea why? Nope.
I wish I could tell you. Etsy works in mysterious ways. Its duplicate is also a bestseller, continues to sell. I mean, hey, at least you got one that's selling if it's the same product. I can't tell you, maybe give it a couple weeks. I mean, I wouldn't go and start changing things around, but give it a couple weeks, and maybe that would be a good time to experiment, especially if you have a duplicate of that listing that's doing well. Maybe keep the duplicate and then use the other listing to test something new, test a new thumbnail.
I have an orange banner and then purple stripe for the categories.
Weird.
I have the orange banner. It's certainly on brand. It's just so bright it feels like it's punching me in the eye. I was browsing through Reddit for the Etsy stuff. I occasionally browse through there to see who's talking crap about what coaches. It's really funny.
Hey, now, a couple people talk crap about me.
Yeah, but their comments were stupid and they were stupid. So,
I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a huge complaint. They're like, good God, I had to like turn my monitor brightness down because it's like beaming a hole through my head.
It's like Nickelodeon orange.
Yeah, it's super bright. I don't know why they did that. The orange Etsy with the plain like white, that was enough. A friend of mine lost his shop. He shipped all of his items, 70 in transit, and then Etsy banned him. Customer got a refund, so he lost the physical items and the money from the customers. I'm scared now. Any help?
Unfortunately, this is one of the things that we're fighting against. I mean, if you go back on my channel, the last 2 Fridays, we've talked about our Keep Etsy Human movement. I've got a video on my channel that's only 5 minutes long that goes over what the Keep Etsy Human movement is. That took place on August 25th, last Friday. But I still encourage you guys to keep using the hashtag and keep reminding Etsy. Let's do it every Friday. Every time I remind you to post Keep Etsy Human, pick up your phone and post Keep Etsy Human. But literally, that is one of the things that we're fighting with, because it is likely a bot deactivation, which are happening due to Etsy's, recent reliance on machine learning and AI. And unfortunately, the machine learning isn't learning very well because it's making really dumb decisions, like deactivating sellers who have literally done nothing wrong. So I would recommend that friend reach out to Etsy nonstop, bug them all the time, daily.
Unless, of course, they did actually break a rule and then tell them to suck it up because they broke the law.
Right. But if they didn't break any rules, then have them reach out to Etsy.
Sure. Because it does happen. It does happen. It's not as prevalent as people like to make it seem, but it absolutely does happen.
Yeah.
Did you see the change they made to the item description location?
Yep. I think it's stupid. I hate it. They've moved descriptions like
I know.
under our reviews.
I know, it's stupid.
I hate it.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. Just wanted to say hello. I'm a new subscriber. I'm excited to catch you guys live today. Third shifter, so I'm not usually able to. When do you do shop critiques? Maybe we can do them soon because we'll usually have our critique week the week prior or leading up to or week of our academy launch. So maybe we'll do one soon. That way we're not doing another one super close to critique week.
Do you guys want to do...
We already had a topic for next week's Bean, I thought. No, maybe we can do critiques next week because... No, so we got 2 weeks until we are going to be gone. We will not be here for the Friday Bean on the 22nd.
It'll be a pre-record.
Yeah, it'll be a pre-record. We'll be at Lost Lands Music Festival.
Yeah.
Feel free to say hi.
But yeah, you guys want to do critiques on the 8th? That'll be the day when we make our donation too to Meals on Wheels.
That might be a good one because then that can be an unrelated thing. We can just do the donation and then jump right into shop critiques.
Sure. What do you guys think? You want to do that?
You guys want to do shop critiques next week? I can do that.
Those are random from the chat. Don't try to email me with your shops. I will not open those emails.
We ignore you.
Yeah, those are random from the chat. There's like 60,000 of you now. I can't look at all your emails, unfortunately.
Nope.
I wish I could.
We have a VA. In E-Rank, is there a way to see the exact items that are selling for my competitors?
So you can't. Yes and no.
That would kind of be some insider stuff, and it wouldn't be super duper nice.
You can see estimated sales for your competitors, which again, we have a clever algorithm that tells us that because that's not part of Etsy's AI. But you can look at these things and look at how much money and the estimated sales on certain, on certain products within your competitor tracking tools. Now you will need a paid E-Rank membership to do that. That is not a free tool because we had to put a lot of, work with our staff into that. But that tool will allow you to see, things like estimated revenue for some of your competitors' listings. So it's really easy to start to pick out which listings of your competitors are the most popular. That would be under the competition tab in the competitor listing report. And you can add competitors to that report and, deep dive into their shops a little bit more.
Somebody commented Excision. I don't really like Excision.
I mean, we'll be there.
I'm super appreciative for how much he's done for the community, and every festival in the country is his festival, but I'm more like
Robot.
Boogie T, Ganja White Night, Rez, slow, calm stuff that I can like chill and hippie wiggle my butt to.
Yeah, the robot noises are...
It's a little too much for me.
Too much stimulus.
He does good breakdowns, but yeah.
That's all he does.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is, yeah. Whoa! Where'd it go? Did I lose the chat? I didn't do anything.
Now, I did want to point out while he's trying to find where we are, if any of you guys haven't seen it, the BBC is trying to go after Etsy, Amazon. I think they're suing Etsy, or they're attempting to. They're suing like every platform, and I don't think they're going to win because I don't think they have grounds to win. Regardless, the BBC is attempting to sue everybody due to counterfeit Bluey merch. With that in mind, this is likely going to be something that is going to bring a lot of attention, not just to Bluey merch, but to products that are not licensed, that utilize the IP of others. Let's start with Bluey, right? Because you guys already know that this isn't stuff that you can legally sell. Bluey in particular, though, is very popular. For those who don't know, it's an Australian cartoon about a blue heeler dog, and it's, super cute. But with so much spotlight, especially being like pointed at Bluey in particular, if you've got Bluey products in your shop, get those out of there like now, just before things get bad. I would definitely recommend being proactive about this because the BBC isn't playing around. So.
No, I don't think they're going to win any of their lawsuits because, I mean, we literally just had the Supreme Court uphold that websites are not responsible for the content posted by third-party posters on their websites. And Etsy, Amazon, and all these websites are not the ones selling the products. It's sellers on their websites. And in the United States, those websites are not responsible for maintaining that. They're responsible for having systems in place in which the copyright owners can go in, report them, and have them removed. But Etsy legally can't remove listings that violate copyright themselves. They're not allowed to do that. It's not their copyright. They cannot enforce that. So
yeah. So Bluey stuff, I mean, just
don't touch it.
Yeah.
Don't touch copyright stuff. Don't be a stinker. Be creative.
Yeah, I would avoid it. You never know. You never know. What if the BBC comes after you specifically? What if they're like, okay, well, we can't sue Etsy, but we can sue all these sellers? Like, stay away from it.
Couple more comments. I love it, Siction and Datsik. Well, then you should check out Shaq's new album because it's actually pretty good. If you like that like hard style, then Shaq's new album will do it for you. It's called Guerrilla Warfare.
Yes,
Gorilla spelled like the animal, and yes, Shaq the basketball player. He is an EDM DJ. He has his own festival called Shaqtoberfest. It's a thing. It's pretty cool. I think his exact words were, "I can't tear it up on the court anymore, so now I tear it up on the dance floor."
I love Shaq.
Freaking awesome. I love Shaq. His music is awesome. The one he did with Sullivan King wasn't very good, but his actual album is pretty good.
What a weird time to be alive.
What a weird time. Life is a fever dream anymore. I'm working on, oh no, there was another one. Yeah, I'm working on launching my wall art shop. I do handmade collage art, wondering how to optimize search terms to overcome the AI art that's out there. There's nothing you can do specifically to overcome anything else. You just optimize your shop in the way that you're supposed to optimize your shop.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've got the same access to keyword tools that you do.
Exactly.
One thing I will say about a lot of the and you know, Mark and I have talked about the use of ethical AI, using AI creatively. We definitely think that there's a place for AI to exist. We just wish that it was in its own category so that people like you are put in a different category, right? However, keep in mind that the really sketchy AI people who upload like 10,000 listings with a bunch of crap on it that they don't care about, and they are literally just trying to make as many listings as possible, they're not taking the time to do good SEO. They're going into Chat GPT and trying to get good keywords.
Mm-hmm.
Chat GPT is still utilizing a database, from 2021? September 2021.
Yeah, unless they've updated it recently. That's the last I saw.
Chat GPT will even tell you that they can't really offer you like good keywords. So with that in mind, people who are just like trying to generate an entire business model, they're not putting in as much effort as you are if you're actually doing like heavy intensive keyword research. So just do a good job. And if you are actually making your art by hand, make sure that in your listing photos, you've got some evidence of you making your art by hand so that our buyers who are kind of, some people are suspicious of the AI art and they don't want to support AI artists. They exist. Those are the type of buyers that you might want to attract. So make sure you're making it clear that your products aren't AI if you think that that's a highlight of what you create.
Mm-hmm. I want to relist my Christmas stuff again, but Etsy wants me to renew them when I try to edit them. So I copy and edit it and noted they don't zero out sales stats. Does this matter? What?
I want to relist my Christmas stuff again, but Etsy wants me to renew them when I try to edit them.
So I copied/edited and noticed they don't zero out sales stats. Does this matter?
If you've made a copy of that listing, it's not the same listing anymore. It's a
brand new listing.
Yeah, it has no listing history. It has no quality score. It doesn't have any of the good, history that it had before, unfortunately. It's just the only benefit is that you saved some time. But if for any reason Etsy wasn't letting you renew it, I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't let you. But kind of stinks, but unfortunately that's just how Etsy is.
Do you guys think Etsy's dying out?
Nope.
Or I wouldn't be here. Be teaching to sell somewhere else.
No, not at all. Etsy's still...
I think they're growing. I think a lot of the quick buck COVID sellers are disappearing because they don't know how to actually compete in a competitive market and it's pissing them off. So they're bouncing out. And we're seeing sales numbers drop because of that, because they had millions of new people sign up to be sellers on their website kind of out of nowhere. Their sales numbers skyrocketed. Etsy spent a bunch of money improving, and now all those people are leaving because they can't maintain doing that while they're also living their normal lives and doing their 9 to 5s. So
yeah, I mean, you can look at their investors reports. Like, yeah, Etsy went down a little bit.
Kind of to be expected when there's less people selling. I mean, there's more people selling on the platform, but
right. Etsy's, overall revenue went down a little bit, but it's still significant and way more than any of the other like little handmade competitors out there. The moment that we think that Etsy is a sinking ship, I promise you, we will be the first to let you know, because we will be the first trying to jump off that sinking ship with you.
and while trying to find alternatives for you to sell on and also teaching you how to do that.
Yeah. But, the Michaels Marketplace, whatever,
I don't trust corporations.
Go Imagine, Go Imagine is just so small. I think that Etsy is it's a giant. I mean, it is a giant. And watch their investors report. Every quarter, you get an investors report you can look through. Keep up with that stuff. I do. I make it a point to always look at their investors report, so I know what the heck is going on.
That is all we have time for. I love you guys.
We've had someone asked where Bubbers is, and then somebody said, will the pets appear on the upcoming Alpha Holiday Party episode? Alpha Holiday Party?
Where are you seeing that?
You mean our like annual Alpha Holiday, like our Christmas party that we do every year? Oh man, we haven't even thought about that. I assume you don't mean the boot camp. The animals decide to come over whenever they decide.
They're cats.
They
do what cats do. Sometimes they're like, hi, love me. Other times they're like, screw you. I don't know who you are.
Bubbers.
They're both asleep. Thing is, the weather's cool, and we're done with questions for the day for those who want to bounce out. They do their... No, don't grab them. They're asleep.
No, I'm grabbing Amy.
It's cool. We have the windows and doors upstairs open. No, we have another cat. She just doesn't like being... Uh-oh. And I don't feel that bad about showing her on camera because she's not as fat anymore.
She's losing weight.
She was a fat loaf.
This is
Amy. And now
Amy.
she's not a fat loaf.
This is Amy. She's a Shiba Inu. We don't recommend anybody get one.
If you do not know how to handle extremely difficult dogs, this is not the dog for you. And not to mention that, we got one with abuse issues, so she was a real pain in the butt, huh?
Yeah.
Which is why she's so nervous right now, but she'll get over it.
She's a good girl. Yeah, Shiba Inus. I mean, the Doge meme
and then
really...
there's also this thing.
The Doge meme blew up Shiba Inu's popularity. Couple fun facts about Shibas. They are Japan's national treasure. They are genetically closer.
The closest breed to wolf.
Yeah, along with all of the Inus. I believe that all of the Inus are genetically closer to wolves. They act more like a cat than they do like a dog. They're very independent. They have their own agenda. They're impossible to train. They're escape artists.
Oh, yeah.
And they require constant walks, stimulation, and
she doesn't try
attention.
To escape anymore because last time she escaped, she impaled herself on a stick running away, and now she cared.
Yeah, she
ran throat first into a sharp stick on the edge of a tree.
Yeah, we thought she was attacked by something.
Nah.
But she ended up having to get stitches.
Stupid, huh?
She a dum-dum.
She's a dum-dum.
But we love her. But this is Amy, and every once in a while you'll see her walking around, but most of the time during the Friday Bean, she is asleep on the couch that is literally right next to us. So, you want to go? Can I
She's like, obviously I want to go.
She just turns into a big loaf when I put... Okay.
Oh, that was a grunt.
I know. There you go. Okay, goodbye. There she goes. She's out of here. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out. There's 2 links down below for you. The first link is the Alpha Holiday Bootcamp link. That is a super duper cool week-long training that we're going to be doing the first week of October. Handmade Alpha Academy students, please don't sign up for that because you get it for free, and you don't want to get all the marketing for it because you get it for free.
Exactly.
But for those of you who aren't in Handmade Alpha Academy, if you sign up on that waiting list, I need the dates, on the 27th, you will get priority pricing for that. I'll be sending out an email if you're on that list. You can get that bootcamp for $60. We do that for you guys so that you have a chance to get in at a discount. Then on the 28th and 29th, pricing will move into its general price. That's $100. And then we will actually be bumping the price up to $120 on the 30th, because that $20 overflow from everybody, we donate that to St. Jude's Children's Hospital for the holidays. So the boot camp itself takes place from October 2nd through the 8th, with the 8th being our live stream day where we do a live group coaching call with you all. The boot camp is pre-recorded, so you can watch it at any time. However, every day, your day of the boot camp will unlock. So you are on a little schedule. I don't recommend signing up for it if you have no time to invest, because it is a boot camp, right? It's going to be a lot of work, but it's only 7 days long. It's going to help you to plan marketing for October, all of November, and the beginning of December, if you do so choose to still sell in December. It's going to have a big focus on social media marketing, because it is a marketing boot camp, primarily Instagram. You're going to be learning how to really fill out those social media marketing schedules in order to game up for primarily Cyber Week. So I'm talking about Black Friday. And if you aren't happy with, your sales numbers on Black Friday, you can always extend to Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday as well. I also don't recommend it if you are a digital product creator, not because I don't love you guys. It's just with all the templates and things that are more geared toward physical products, and Christina and Nicole's whole lesson on photography, it's just probably not ideal for you. There's a big chunk you're not going to enjoy. If you're POD, totally fine. Whether you order samples for yourself or you use mock-ups, I will have some pretty cool templates that you can use if you rely on mock-ups. And you can drag and drop your product photos right into that. So there's a bunch more information about it on the page, though, if you click on that down below in the video description. And then the second thing is that Amplified by Printify, the first ever live POD event. This summit is going to be taking place on the 14th, and it is free. I don't know what everybody else is going to be talking about, but I do know that there's some great speakers. I'm going to be talking about niching. That'll be taking place on September 14th. And there's a free registration link down below.
Yep.
Even if you don't sell POD, I don't know what everybody's talking about there. So maybe other speakers will talk about something that's beneficial to you, even if you don't sell POD. So feel free to sign up for that if you're interested in checking out. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate you all. I've got a video coming on Tuesday that's going to talk a little bit about how Etsy's algorithm sees your product descriptions and what they're looking for in your product descriptions. And this upcoming Friday on the 8th, we are apparently doing shop critiques. So
sounds like it. We love you guys, and we will see you then.
All right. Bye, guys. Ooh, my voice cracked.
Gotta
Did you hear it?
Keep waving.